Session number 4 of Patanjali meditation. And let me ask you this, I will make an habit in every webinar session. And I am asking to all our attendees there, those who are present, can you just write a word? I have enabled chat there. So if you write on your, if you see on the right side of your screen, on the lower part, or somewhere there, I don't know exactly how it looks on your screen. On my screen, it is on the lower right side, below a line. If you write there and click it, I can see the words. So my question to you is, those who are sitting there, please let me know if you can see me as well as you can hear me. Or if anything is, yeah, I see there are 3 viewers there. So will 3 of you please reply to me, because we had a slight problem in another course I am conducting. I went ahead with the whole 1-hour session, but those who were in webinar mode, they were not able to get me, neither my photo nor my sound. So, but of course it gets recorded. So here is my question. Please reply back if the webinar mode is working okay. Nobody is replying. Hello. I have no idea what it is. There are 3 viewers. Yes, one has come. Yes, very good. That puts me. So even if one is there, it tells me that from our end it is working. So thank you very much for your response. Let's go ahead now. So I go in screen share mode. That's my habit usually. So this is just the first slide. We are starting with the session 4. Because they can see this slide. So this is our 4th session on Patanjali meditation. Actually, it is Patanjali Yoga Sutra, but I am just keeping those abbreviation PM same. So PM101 was learning the technique of Patanjali meditation without much bothering to get into Patanjali Yoga Sutras. But PM102, though it is Patanjali meditation, its total title should be Patanjali Yoga Sutras, and we will do mostly chapter 1 and 2. Half of his book. Just a quick review of what we have done last time. So we have discussed basically, if you remember, we had this diagram. So schematically, your mind screen chitta is either showing you something or not. If all what it is showing you modifications, which is called chitta vritti, there were 5 types that we have discussed. If you are able to subdue them, then you are on this green line. That is, you have made a progress in the path of yoga. So now we are discussing this part, and the mechanism. What we discussed last time was Patanjali has taught us that we need to make progress in twofold manner: abhyas and vairagya. So that was discussed. So with abhyas means practice, and vairagya means getting to become more mature, that we are not tempted by worldly things. So that is enunciation I had translated. So with this twofold progress on practice and enunciation, one is likely to jump on this side. That is what we had discussed. And today we will be discussing, even though I come here, it is not full. What is the objective of Patanjali? That is 1.3. Tada drashtu swarupe avasthanam, that self-realization. So in the first jump, we don't get to the self-realization. Now we are going to today discuss this yellow line and discuss what are all these things here. So as far as the view is concerned, last week we discussed With this twofold path, two-pronged approach of Abhyas and Vairagya, practice and enunciation, I will get rid of these modifications, these vrittis, and come to here. And that's what these 5 sutras we had discussed quickly. Abhyas Vairagya Abhyam Tan Nirodha. This is pronoun tat, which is referring to the 5 kinds of vrittis. They are subdued by dual means of Abhyas and Vairagya. Then he is devoting two sutras on Abhyas. What he's saying, that is a journey. So wherever you are on the journey, somewhere in between, that is sthiti. You are stationed there. Tattva means there, you are stationed, and you have to make an effort to stay there. Like you are climbing up a hill. If you have climbed certain steps, you have to make an effort. You have to put an anchor so that you stay there. Otherwise, you are likely to slip down, isn't it? So that effort to stay there is called abhyas. So, this is human nature. If we are not practicing, so wherever we are, whatever we have learned, you will fall back. For example, I probably said like that, if you learn a driving, you have first lesson, and second lesson should have come in a few days, in a week or so. If you didn't do the second lesson, maybe then you are calling the driving instructor 6 months later, then that first lesson has no meaning. It has to be redone, isn't it? Because you did not do practice to be hooked to that slight progress you had made. You have to hook to that point. And that is what he's emphasizing. That is the practice. And then he's giving 3 parameters, that Satu Dirghakal, it should be long duration. Dayantaya is a low frequency continuously, and Satkaya Sevito is positive attitude. Then you are more hooked in a strong manner. One of you made a good point to this Dirghakal. It's an interesting point. What it was pointed out is it could refer to a long period of practice, 3 months, 3 years, so many, 30 years, whatever it is. Also, it could refer to when you sit for meditation, the time duration you devote to meditation. I have no idea, to probably both could be valid, but let's proceed further. So that was about Abhyas. Then Vairagya, he gives a title, namely Vashika and Param Vairagya. So Vashika is related to the objects, objects of which are, they are objects, and we have 5 senses. So our 5 senses can get to know those objects. So on very first day I was talking using the Sankhya diagram. We have an object like Agni. It's an object, and it gives it radiates something I will call Roop, which is shape and form and color of that object. And I have an organ called Chakshu, which captures those signals. So they are sensual objects which are captured by my 5 senses. So if I have gone now, they disturb me in the process of meditation in the 2 possible manners. So those objects are classified again into 2 categories. So of course, object, when it is perceived or captured by an sense organ, then you go through an experience. Now those experiences are of infinite kind. Now they are broadly put into 2 categories. Drisht, something you have experienced, and Anushravik is something you have overheard from others. So I am in sitting for meditation. I would like to subdue all my vrittis of my mind, but because I enjoyed a particular dish in a particular restaurant, that is now tempting my mind, though I am sitting for meditation. So that will be in the nature of this. And sometimes I have not experienced that particular eating a dish, but I have heard from somebody who was very praising that, then also it becomes tempting. So what happens is that object is no more. I am far away from that restaurant. The dish is not there, but because I experienced it or because I heard about it, my mind is tempted to go somewhere, and that creates a vitti. So that will be disturbing my practice of meditation. Now, if I have with repeated practice and maturity, I tell my mind this is not the time to do it, or that taste is just, what is more important is nutrition, not the taste. There are different ways to calm down your mind, to explain it. So this is called Pratipaksha Bhav. And Patanjali, that will come slightly later in the second chapter, that you have to train your mind that dish and its particular taste I should not be carried away. I should not be tempted by that. Otherwise, it will harm me. So it is not in my interest to get tempted by that. So that sort of a tuning or training your mind, all this, if it is successful, then you have achieved the first level of Vairagya called Vashikar. Then this is related to all material objects. Now there is an inner kind of Vairagya he is talking about. So it is per Vairagya, the second level, and that is what we will be discussing today. So that is related to the objects are not there, but in the course of meditation, I reach certain stages which I may enjoy it, or I may feel, look, I am making good progress in meditation. And not knowing the ultimate destination, I may just get hooked to one of those points. And I may say, as if I may think, this is very desirable, and this is what, could be my objective of destination. And I don't have a foresight to see beyond that. So I get hooked there itself. So then I am not exercising the second level of Vairagya. So what he is saying is, guna is, this is a technical term from Sankhya, that every object, every material thing has a, has a, has a mix of three guna and sattva, rajas, tamas, so to say. We will get this in second chapter of Patanjali also, Prakash Kriya Sthiti Shilam, when he will talk about the drishya. But the chit here, we are talking at a very subtle level now. The chit, which is very, very subtle thing, though made of matter, so this also has a balance of three gunas. So this probably I have mentioned, or I should say, for just as an analogy, I like to say there are three primary colors: red, blue, and yellow. And if you mix them in a different way, you can get thousands or millions of and infinite varieties of colors. So that is what our chitta is also, mix of these three, sattva, rajas, and tamas. And depending on who is dominating, we get all kinds of experiences. Now this is 1.16 is talking about our meditation practices. We are not tempted by any material object, or nothing is disturbing us, but those meditation experience itself is a vritti on our chitta, because something is happening on my chitta, because I haven't yet come to my ultimate destination. Ultimate destination is purush khyate, to know the self. Purush is the self. So self-realization is the ultimate objective. But most of you will relate to this, because we are all in the journey of meditation. We end up somewhere in between. That in between point is also a vritti on our chitta, isn't it? So that is what he is referring to. He's saying those points are also nothing but interplay of these three gunas. Tishnayam, Trishna is the thirst, is getting tempted by that situation. And where Tishnayam, where is its negation? I should not be tempted by those, intermediate position when my chitta is in a state of giving out a vritti, though the vritti is not originating from an external object. It is part and parcel of my meditation practice, but this also should not be treated as an ultimate objective and I should desire to make. So this is the level 2 of Vairagya. Now this state of chitta is the subject of discussion today. What are those states? So where level 1 of Vairagya has been captured, I have mastered that, but I have not quite mastered the level 2 of Vairagya, and that is what is discussion today. The sutra is Vitak Vichar Ananda Smita Rupa Anugamat Sampajyata. So this is the original statement, 1.17. So here there is a technical term Sampajyat, and the word samadhi is I have borrowed from the foregoing. So this is a state of samadhi. Samadhi I will not translate into English, but I must explain it. It is difficult to translate into English. Samadhi is a state when of my own I have subdued my chitta with my best effort. I have subdued it. There are no distinct thoughts, but still something is there. But it is not very distinct thoughts and material things are not there. Then that is called as a state of samadhi. We have used the 8 terms of Ashtanga Yoga in PM101. You know, Yam, Niyam, Asana, Pranayam, Pratyahara, Dharana, Dhyan, and Samadhi. But we said our package in 101 was Asana, Pranayam, Pratyahara, Dharana, and Dhyan. So Dhyan was meditation, where we were emphasizing always to have a state of mind void of thoughts. So if I have succeeded in Dhyan, mind is blank from thoughts, etc., then there is a next stage that is called Samadhi. Now Samadhi is not just one thing. There is a wide spectrum there, and that is what we are going to look at today. So here the meaning of this statement is that as far as I am concerned, I have subdued my chitta. Now nothing is coming from the external world, real world outside, and you know it. In my memory, I have the whole of the external world. So now I have come to a point that nothing from my memory is also coming. So as a meditation practitioner, a newcomer, of course we ask him to close eyes. It's a quiet room and we do all that so that our 5 senses don't capture any objects. But as soon as you close eyes, a newcomer is saying, thoughts are coming. Thoughts are nothing but our own recollection of the past events, which we had gathered in our lifetime, isn't it? So that is this is also objective world, but an inner world, which is also infinite things. It's infinitely large. Just like external world is large, inner world is also very, very large. And that can also throw in all kinds of vrittis. Now, if both of them have been subdued, the vrittis originating from the external world as well as from the inner world, then I am in samadhi. Now, having reached that spot, something may appear. So that is the meaning of this word. These 4 terms are Vitak, Vichar, Anand, Asmita. In Sanskrit, you know, they become compound words. So it just looks like one term, but that is made out of 5 terms. So 4 terms are 4 names. Vitak, Vichar, Anand, Asmita. Then he's saying Rupa Anugamat. So as if these 4 terms are reflecting 4 possibilities, 4 kinds of vrittis which may arise on your chitta. Rupa Anugamat means that has been captured or that has been superimposed on your chitta. So this is by an external force. Of course, later on we will know today, next week, there will be a discussion on Ishwar. So somehow that agency has imposed a picture on your chitta when you have relatively made it blank. Okay. So that is translated as intuitive cognition. So this is what we, in 101, I was trying to tell you towards the end of 101, when your practice gets better, you will have new insights. So those new insights are something you have not read, you have not heard, some new ideas. Eureka moment like Archimedes or something like that. So all scientists and philosophers capture some new ideas. We also capture, but they are slightly trivial, so we don't notice it. But we also capture in certain moments. So these are the gift of that Ishwar, and that is now a vritti, but it is not a layman's vritti, so it is called as sampajñāt samadhi. Let's discuss it slightly here. So I have, by way of abhyas and vairagya, I have jumped here, and then I am not here, I am somewhere here. But here this is coming due to enunciation of level 1. And that is what 1.16 was talking. Don't treat them as your ultimate objectives. Still try hard, and that's where the enunciation level 2 will help you to jump to this side. And the word push khyate, which was in 116, is discriminative, or what Kapil is saying in Sankhya, Vivek khyate. There, the chit is void of any with. It is nothing, absolutely nothing. Not even from Ishwar or not from your external world, nor from the inner world, absolutely nothing. So here is you, the observer, and the chitta, the screen is there. All both are in their raw states. That will be called as Vivek Khyati or Purush Khyati. But believe me, this also in Patanjali's first chapter, if we continued, but we will be cutting short of first chapter today, and next week we are on first chapter. Then we will jump on second chapter. But suppose we continue on first chapter, then he will come to a stage that there should be one more arrow, or here I should bifurcate. So one, I will draw another color, maybe purple, that will be Vivek Khyati. And there will be a final green arrow, that will be Nibij Samadhi, which I have discussed in session 1 and 2 in the context of Klist and Aklist thing. But let me, while I am discussing all this, so you have a overall picture what all this is all about. But from the layman people know only Samadhi. They think Samadhi is last. But now we are in Samadhi and all this is happening. So this is intuitive cognition, where you have achieved a subdued state of your chitta, but due to the gift of Ishwar, he wants to give you some knowledge, isn't it? And this is how he gives knowledge. We pick up external knowledge from our teachers' books through our organs, but he gives us knowledge direct, right on the chitta. So this is called an intuitive cognition. And if we use them, this is for our good, we make further progresses, and with our enunciation on level 2, we come here. Then there will be suddenly a day, if we are at that level, that you see your own self and you see your raw chitta, like cinema hall before cinema begins. That is raw chitta. But that also is not ultimate. So question in your mind is, what is then ultimate? Now, even in Vivek Khyati, in your chitta, under the chitta, which is called bhumi, what is called ahankar, some sanskars are lying there, which at this moment when you have achieved Vivek Khyati, that sanskar has not popped up. So you have a subdued mind, but some sanskars or their seeds are lying there. So though you are in Vivek Khyati, some seeds are still there. So now the repeated practice of this will burn those seeds, and then will come what is called Nibij Samadhi. Then you have met all the objectives of the human life. Then you don't have to take birth again. So this is what Kapil will say, Jnanat Mukti. That time will come in 4th chapter, 5th chapter. when we study Kapil Sankhya. Here it will be called as Kaivalya in Patanjali Yoga. Then you are alone, you don't have even the instruments of subtle part. So as far as that part is concerned, which was kind of a pay-fail, I have discussed it. Now let's come to this, what is the subject of discussion today, 1.7. Let's see what are these four kinds of. So this is, I will say, intuitively you get knowledge. This is coming from another agency, but this is pertaining to gross objects. You know, gross objects are those objects that are amenable, that can be captured by our five senses. Then there is subtle knowledge, like these things we are talking, this diagram. This is subtle knowledge. This knowledge is called Vichara Samadhi. Then you get this kind of knowledge. So when you are in Samadhi, these different kinds of new insights may develop. Then there is a possibility that your chitta has nothing to show. But this is not Vivek Khyati. Please, there is an intricacy here. For some moment, your chitta is not showing you anything, but chitta is in a sattva mode, you know. Sattva is just tamas. Sattva is very pleasant, is very good. If you are in sattva mode, you are feel good. So our chitta, basically, as per its natural design, it is rich in sattva. That is what its job, that so that it functions its job. So here, these two vrittis are not there. Your chitta is in its own sattva mode, but you are not perceiving the chitta, you are perceiving the sattva mode of the chitta, which makes you feel happy. Are you able to get this point? You know, you are not seeing the chitta as such, you are experiencing the sattva mode of the chitta. So that's how this is different from Vivekyati. Though there is no vritti, but it's very color of the chitta, which is very pleasant, you are experiencing that. Is that okay? So that is called Ananda. Ananda Sampajjat Samadhi. Because you are experiencing something. And here, this is Asmita. Asmita is myself. Here you are seeing the self now, but here you are not seeing yourself direct. You are seeing your image in the chitta. So it's like you see your own self in a direct manner, and you see yourself in a mirror. When you see in mirror, you are seeing yourself, but it is not to yourself, it is your image, isn't it? So here, this is called Asmita Samadhi, where you see your own image. But you are not, this is not self-realization. So self-realization is here, isn't it? Where you see chitta in absolutely chitta form, and you are not carried away by the sattva mode of the chitta. It was there. And you are neither, nor you are seeing your image in the chitta. Then you are in Vivekyati. Is that okay? I hope I have explained it, and I still use an analogy, but I am slightly hesitating here because it should not be confusing. The reason, because I am using an analogy with a glass mirror, but now this glass mirror is not what we are used to it. Just imagine your chitta is glass mirror. Imagine your chitta is glass mirror. But I will be doing flip-flop with our outer world and the inner world of chitta. So you will have to be careful. So I am writing some explanations here for those four terms, namely Vitark, Vichar, Anand, and Asmita. I am writing here, but there is a danger. So, you know, I am using the explanation of the real world. But you will have to, this is an analogy. So you will have to translate into chitta as the inner mirror. So be careful there, otherwise there is a danger. So we are familiar with it. You are in your home, and there is sometimes people have huge glass mirror on a wall, isn't it? You have a glass mirror. You are sitting in front of it. That is your instrument, so to say, isn't it? And if you look at the glass mirror, In the level 1, it shows you all the surrounding objects. Certain objects are behind you, you cannot see them unless you know, rotate your neck. But when you see in the glass mirror, you see their image. So this is like a reflection of the gross objects in the glass mirror. Is that okay? But you have to translate into the chitta level where you are already in the chitta, your chitta is subdued, there is no external world, there is no inner world. Ishwar has sent an image. Are you getting this point? But when I am talking about your own home and glass mirror, here there is a glass mirror which is showing you the external. No, Ishwar has sent you that image, isn't it? But that is where the catch is. I am trying to explain, but I hope it doesn't put you off the track. So this glass mirror is an instrument in your home, and there are four likely possibilities. So you just listen to me, those four likely possibilities, and then you will have to translate it, extrapolate it into that subtle glass mirror where there are nothing there, but somebody is imposing those images. So when you are in your home, you see the glass mirror. I am just trying to make you think that there are four possibilities. One is the usual, which we all see, even children will see. All sorts of objects are visible, their image is falling on the glass. And sometimes you go close to the glass mirror, you open a window, and suppose there was sunlight falling on it. Then you can see some tiny particles there. Through that portion of the window, sunlight is falling, and you are very close to the glass. And you see, yes, they are very tiny particles, they are moving. If I observe very closely, I can see that, isn't it? They are subtle particles which are not visible from a distance, and they are not gross objects, which otherwise, if you close the window, no sunlight, then you cannot see those particles. Otherwise, they are there, and you are able to see them if there is a proper connection with all them. The third possibility is now you are somehow not seeing the objects in the glass, you are seeing the glass mirror itself. I hope you can connect to this situation. You see the glass mirror, but here you have gone into, you are slightly philosophical. Why does it show me image? A typical wall doesn't show me the image, isn't it? Oh, there is a glass mirror here. That is a fantastic thing, which shows me so many things, even the things behind me. And you are a bit excited because glass mirror is also an achievement of human being. We have invented it, isn't it? So you are excited with that instrument, namely the glass mirror, which helps you, though you see everything in front of you. Even if glass mirror was not there, you would see it. But with that added instrument, you can see many things behind you and in all other 360-degree direction. So that is the third, when you see the instrument, isn't it? And then, of course, there are so many things visible, but now you are so much focused, you are into that instrument, so many things are there, but you are seeing your own self. Is that okay? So in real life, you have gone through all these things, isn't it? Now translate these four possibilities into the chitta level, where there is no external world, no internal world. It's not coming from direct perception of objects, no, it is being retrieved from your memory, but somehow somebody is giving you, like an author gives me a knowledge by writing a book. Today that author is no more here, but I am reading his book and I feel as if he is saying something to me, isn't it? Now this book is an instrument through which that particular author who lived 100 years ago is saying me something, isn't it? So imagine you have a chitta there, you have vacated the chitta from the external vrittis and internal vrittis. And now there is an author, namely Ishwar, who is using the chitta as the instrument to convey something to you. Is that okay? So like glass mirror was an instrument in the external world, and I could get four-dimensional knowledge from it, that Ishwar is giving you four-dimensional knowledge, external objects, inner knowledge, internal, the subtle things, and so much so about that instrument itself, what it is. And then I can see myself in that, because I am the real consciousness, and that instrument works only if I am there. That makes a pair, isn't it? Like glass mirror, if a human being is not there, the chairs are there. Chairs don't get any picture out of glass mirror. It's only a human being who can make interpret all that, isn't it? So all those things are happening. I hope I have devoted enough time. That's I just can hope that I have conveyed what I wanted to convey. But feel free. This is a course 102 where I want to raise your stature, that you have a confidence that you can teach Patanjali's teachings to lay person. So if there is a doubt, you can write to me. Feel free to write to me, even call me or whatever it is. So that is always there. I have three more sutras in this section. Vyam 1.18 is Vyam Pratyay Abhyas Purva Sanskar Shesho Anya. Anya means other. So this was Sampajna Samadhi. So he's saying other Samadhi, isn't it? Which are more inward. So in that previous diagram, if I go further on the left side, so he is saying Vyam Pratyaya Abhyas Purva, as he has mentioned about enunciation level 2, if that is practiced and repeatedly assimilated, then what will happen? It gives rise to the birth of a sanskar. Anything I am able to do because I have a sanskar. So, if I want to progress to a higher dimension of meditation practice, I should develop a sanskar for that. So, what he's saying is, more I generate enunciation of level 2, that sort of a thing will happen, and that will propel me towards the yoga direction, towards the gain kala, isn't it? So he is saying you have to capture the enunciation of level 2 with repeated practice so that you can go beyond this intuitive cognition towards Vivek. Now he is making an observation which is peculiar to Vedic philosophy, where there is life after death and this is continuing cycle. So he is saying bhava pratyayo. So this is easily achieved, comparatively easily achieved, for two categories of people who are called as Videhe and Prakriti Layanam. Layanam means this is Shashti for Bahuvachan. For these groups of people, two groups of people, namely Videhe and Prakriti, they they may find it that practice that is required is not that much enormous, because they have done in their previous life, like this is why. And I think you can look at it this way, why not? We advertise these things for thousands of people. Our gentleman is announcing in the hall, we have a newsletter. I also have a mailing list of 15 to 14,000. We send out these, but only small number of people come. If you examine, notice it, there is something in your personality that makes you inclined towards this, what we are discussing. And there are millions of people interested in it. So what makes this difference? You have to ask, isn't it? There is always a cause behind an effect. If we are here, there is a cause for that. Particularly because so many people are not here. So there has to be a cause. And if you examine, there is something in your personality which says that yes, this is interesting. Yes, this should be pursued. Yes, this is in my interest. But there are many who don't feel like that, isn't it? So this is something in our life And maybe there are two brothers here, where they have had almost same life in this, almost two twin brothers you can imagine, isn't it? Like in England, I had a twin brother. One was very much interested attending my classes, other brother was not that interested. Now, if those two brothers are closely examined, they have the same genes more or less. They are identical twins. They have been brought up in the same family, more or less same, but still there are certain features at the later stage of their life. One goes here, another goes there, isn't it? So we say that something you are bringing from your previous life, that is what is called sanskar, including we have certain talents. You know, some people are so good in, they pick up driving just like that. Ladies do so much of, cooking skills. We have in India, a particular bread called chapati. They just make it like this. They will talk to. If I were to make it, it will take me many, many hours learning. So something is in somebody's, it could be knowledge or skill, both. Knowledge based, like Mozart, they said when he was 6, he had all kinds of tunes in his mind. Where did he get them from? So we have a lot of knowledge based talent as well as skill based talent, which are difficult to describe how we got them. But that's what everybody says. Every human being is unique. Everybody is born with some talent. It is our duty to find out and nurture that particular person, that talent. Where do they come from? They come from previous life, isn't it? So that is what he's saying. This is easily, comparatively, much easily achieved by these two categories of people. So Vidya and Praketi, like these are categories of people, are quite accomplished to some extent, because I didn't use that word. Yeah, Patanjali uses it. I used here Vivek Khyati, but he is using the word asampajyat samadhi. This is sampajyat samadhi. In Sanskrit, a is for negation, like symmetry and asymmetry. So this is negation. Asampajyat means when even intuitive cognition is not there. So what I've been saying in these last few minutes, Vivek Khyati is he is using the term asampajyat samadhi. So in his terminology, these two categories of people are already accomplished to jump over to asampajyat samadhi, Vivekyati, on that side, on the towards the green color, by birth. By birth, they brought some. And then why are these two categories? They had mastered the intuitive knowledge, namely sampajyat samadhi, the first two levels, vitark and vichar, while Praketi Lay they had mastered up to the Ananda Samadhi. Why the word Praketi is there? Praketi is the matter, Chit is made out of matter, so Lay is to go back to the matter. So these are those philosophical terms, we need not go much into it. That way, I think I am about to end it. Now for others who are not in Bhav, who are not in Vidya and Praketi like category, like we are all normal people. So he is now giving a scheme that for them, Itahesham means for others. For others, he is saying, you try to cultivate these features in your personality. What are they? Shraddha, Vijaya, Smriti, Samadhi, Prajna, Purvak. So in your practice, you don't get hooked to intuitive cognition, sampajna samadhi. Wherever you are, you bring in these elements so that you can go to the other side of vivekhyati or asampajna samadhi. What are these? He has a particular order. So let's look at it. Others can achieve beyond intuitive cognition, called asampajna samadhi, through Shraddha. Typically is translated as devotion, faith also, but its word meaning is Shrat and Dha. Shrat is the truth, and Dha is to capture it. So love for truth. So what you think is the true knowledge, you should assimilate it. You should You should have full faith in that and practice. Full faith is not just, yes, yes, this is true. You have to assimilate it within you, isn't it? That should become part of you, isn't it? Like honesty is a good, become honest. If you think it is a good scheme, good policy, it should be part of you. So this is Shraddha. V is a vital energy or enthusiasm or vigor. So even if you have just acquired it, you have assimilated it, but it should come out of it. So that is the vigor. And if that is happening, I somehow connect to this because in my life, I think I went through this. So Smriti. Smriti is past memory. So something, maybe in this life or previous life, something is there in your mind, in your ahankar, that will now come out and guide you. So it's not external guidance, something is within you, but that will change the course of your action, course of your life, isn't it? So in my life, I say, uh, when I was too small, my father used to take me for his morning walk. So I was born in Calcutta. There is a garden called Eden Garden. My father would go there. I used to play around, just all kinds of trees and some flowers and some fruits and all that. But he used to sit for meditation. And I am from Aismaj culture where we do what we call Sandhya. It is a citation of certain mantras. That is what is common in Aismaj, and I am trying to raise their level with some difficulty. But I remember now that he will recite some mantras and then he would be in silent mode. And that time I am 6 or 8 years old. Now I have lived these many years and I never bothered that when I switched from engineering career to this 20 years ago, then of course at that time my asset was my bookish knowledge. So I said, okay, I was confident, I like all this. So I was not meditation practitioner at that time, which I am now. But when I made the switch, in the course of all that, somehow that scene appeared in me. And then that made a drastic change in my life that I will not teach Patanjali Yoga this, I will teach Patanjali Yoga comprehensive with meditation practice, not only just theoretical part, but the real what is Patanjali Yoga. So naturally, I had to then learn all these things, which was, there was no guidance because even in Aismaj, sadly speaking, there is not much guidance on how to do meditation. That took me years and years. So it is not 20 years, but it took me many years to come to this point where I am now. So I have seen this. Smriti, some event in my life which was obscured, somewhere dormant, but when I was about 48, 50, when going through life and life became too much ups and downs because I switched from my engineering, no monthly paycheck, and what am I doing? I had no plan and nothing. Suddenly that picture came in my mind that that is the way to do sandhya, like my father was doing. So I went into that. So I think something like this happened in your life. And then if you are following, so these are the steps. If you are honest here, if you are vigorous here, then something will help you. And then you have to go this. So these are rishis, somehow they come up with all these intermediate steps and they write in exact order. So that's what is 1.20. And again, there are two more, but I will just, not that. So Tivya Samveganam Asanna. If all these parameters are there, you are making, and you have intense desire, then it is further expedited. Midu madhyadhimatyatvat tato api vishesha. Even this intense desire, he is making three categories, which he is talking in detail later. They could be midu, madhya, and adhi, mild, moderate, and high. So today we have discussed basically the Sampajat Samadhi and its 4 categories, and I have tried my best to explain to you. And then if you have the Vairagya level 2, the enunciation level 2, that will help you do. There are some people who come with their past life, all that, they will make the jump to Asampajat Samadhi or Vivekhyati in a much easy manner. But Patanjali is trying to include everybody. So for others, he gives a formulation, Shraddha Vi Smriti Samadhi Prajna Purvak. So point is with Abhyas and Vairagya basically. Practice and enunciation, we are still talking about that. This was the second part of Abhyas and Vairagya. We will not only get to intuitive cognition, even beyond that. So that's the end of this. It is 8:07 here. We have 23 minutes here. And I request Sanjay to come here. And as I was interested in, let this group be everybody together. So we get to know. So here comes Sanjay. He can be seen by everybody. And I am requesting him to tell something briefly about him, and then that 20-minute module. And when one by one others will come, we'll get to know each other. Here.
Namaste. My name is Sanjay Sood. By profession, I work for an oil company. I am a geophysicist working here in Houston for last 8 years. So my interest in meditation started with because there is a lot of stress. I am a parent of 2 teenagers, and our oil industry is going through a lot of downs, I'll say, not ups these days. So work life and as well as home life is very stressful. And we are very lucky that Acharya ji moved here from England last summer. And since last fall, I registered for his first meditation class. That is where I got in touch with meditation. To be truthful, I'm not a very good practitioner. I'm a student. I have done sometimes, and sometimes I have felt good, but I am guilty of not practicing it very regularly. And why I want to attend this class is because I think teaching is the best way of learning. I think as I have been a teacher before moving here. I was a teacher at Guru Nanak Dev University, Amritsar, India. I taught for 11 years in their physics department. So, and I know my students have taught me many things, and that is what I'm hoping from this course also. So once we go through, maybe while teaching, it will give me more purpose, and maybe one day we'll move beyond just practicing meditation for stress relief and other stuff. I may move to other steps which we are learning in Acharyaji's class here. Namaste. That was brief introduction about me.
If you want, I can bring the word file. Okay, that would be good. But you will be seen. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Today, Acharyaji has asked me to lead the 20-minute module. Hope everybody can see me. It is a little dark here. We have switched off the lights, but so 20-minute schedule module is, I think we are all familiar, but what we are trying to do is to develop this module for everybody. And in Patanjali meditation, we want it to, for the first timers, to be able to do it and experience something. So, but meditation is nothing. So it is that you want to go to a state where your mind is focused at nothing. You want to go from disconnect from your body, from outside world, and move inside where you are just not, there are no thoughts and you are in a thoughtless state. That, as Acharyaji says, that your chit is bereft of any images. So there is thoughtless, like a blank screen. That is what we want to achieve through the meditation. So in this, I will first demonstrate what are the different steps for doing this meditation, and then we will actually do it for 10 minutes. So for the demonstration, it is Patanjali prescribes that we should be, there are three things we should discipline to be able to do meditation. The first is that we should discipline our body. The second is we should discipline our breathing. And the third is that we should discipline our mind. So these are the three things we want to discipline to be able to do the meditation. So first, let's talk about how do we discipline our body. So the thing to do is that we should be sitting in a very comfortable position. So I like sitting cross-legged. See me, but whatever is comfortable. If you can sit cross-legged and then your hands on your knees, it could be both crossed in a lap, it could be interlocked, or you could be putting on your knees and elbows bent, no tension. You want your spine to be straight, but no stress, no tension in that. That is what you want to achieve. Relaxed. If you cannot sit on floor cross-legged, you can sit on an armless chair. Relax yourself. So that's how we will try to relax, and then we will just relax, maybe put a smile on your face and just think about feel your body and just try to relax. So that is the first state where you want to discipline your body. So that's how we achieve. And let's move on to the next step where we'll be trying to discipline our breathing. So breathing is a automatic thing our body does. But here, to be able to do meditation, we will be doing 4 phases of breathing. So when you breathe out, how do you feel? What is abdominal breathing? So I put my hand on my tummy and I breathe out. So breathing out through my nostrils, your hand should go back if you are doing it correctly. Then that is the first step. Next step is you hold it out. So it should be back there when you are holding out. For how long do you hold? That depends. It could be anything between 4 to 16 seconds, or easier way is so long you are comfortable, or as soon as you start feeling some uneasiness, that is when you breathe in. So when you breathe in, your hand should move forward. So your tummy should be going out, and then you hold it in. So your hand should stay wherever it is. So that is, and again the same thing, how long you hold it in. So you will hold it in for anything between 4 to 16 seconds. But the other way is that so long you don't feel uneasy, you are comfortable doing that. So that's how long you will hold it outside. So that finishes the 4 phase. The first is you breathe it out, then you hold it out, then you breathe in, hold it in. So that ends the 4 cycles of breathing. And this you can do up to 3 to 5 cycles. As a beginner, I have done more because it helps for me to relax and focus on something. So while we are breathing, what we are doing is we are controlling our body and trying to bring the focus towards our, maybe the third eye. So that is the part of disciplining your breathing. So when we do, we'll talk more about it and how we do it when we actually do it. So next part is disciplining your mind. So Patanjali prescribes the universal sound of Om for disciplining our mind. So that is, I think, is the most difficult part. of doing it. Before going to this, so we should, after disciplining our body, then we should fall back to the normal breathing, and then is the next step of doing the controlling our mind or disciplining our mind. So Om, you should be sitting in a relaxed position with your spine straight, and the Om sound should come from your navel region, and it should rise up and come out through your lips. So it would be something like that. So that's how you will do. We will do up to 5. We'll do it 5 times. We will chant Om 5 times, and every time we will try to bring our thoughts to the third eye, the region between where my eyes and nose meet, right at the bottom of my forehead, the third eye. So that's where we want to focus our mind on. So that's where our thoughts should be, and we should not be thinking anything else. So with the Om, so usually I start with a louder Om, and as I progress down, so I become it slow. It becomes a little more and more slower in volume, and finally by the 5th time it's barely audible to even my neighbor. So that's how we will go and try to bring my thoughts. And once we are in the meditation, again, for me it has happened many times that again some thoughts will come in, so we will silently chant Om in our mind, and that helps me to focus back to my third eye region. So that's how that's a brief description of the 3 different steps which we'll be doing for doing this meditation. Now, if you are ready, now we will start the meditation. So let's relax and sit in a very comfortable position. So we should be able to sit for 10 minutes in this position. So let's relax, sit straight, and put a smile on your face. Think about the different body organs. Maybe you can start from your toes and move upwards and just feel the body, just relax, smile. If everybody is with me, we can move to the next step. That is, now we'll be starting our 4-step breathing. So let's start. Breathe out. Hold it out. Breathe in. Hold within. Breathe out. Hold it out. Breathe in. Hold within. Breathe out. Hold it out. Breathe in. Hold within. Now we'll do it one last time. Breathe out. Hold it out. Breathe in. Hold within. Breathe out. Now we can let our body take over our breathing, and we should now be focusing, try to focus our mind towards our third eye. No thoughts, nothing, just try to focus towards the region at your third eye. The body has taken over the natural breathing cycle. So now we can start the control of our mind with chanting of Om. Try to focus your mind on your third eye. If any thoughts come, please recite Om within silently to bring back the mind. Hope some of you did experience some calmness in 6 or 7, 8 minutes of meditation which we got today. Thank you. Dhanyavad. Thank you.
Very nice.